Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Campus Convos. I am joined today by Michelle Lopez, who is the director for the Financial Aid Office here at DACC. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm excited. A little nervous.
No, you'll be perfectly fine. So, school's right around the corner. There's a lot of preparation for students as far as before they start their next semester and stuff like that. So do you have any tips for any students, since you are the director of financial aid and you are the one that the students go to, that they look for help for, finances and stuff like that. Do you have any tips for students before they begin the semester?
Well, we want to make sure on our end that they kind of cross all their T's and dot all their I's. And so what we're looking for is to make sure that they have their applications complete, they've been admitted completely. There's a whole big process with financial aid, so it's not really one cut and dry answer. There's a lot of steps to it, but I think kind of first and foremost, we want to make sure that they have their FAFSA application done and complete. That one, really, the FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid.
Okay.
And so on that one, it's a federal application. It's free, so we never want anybody trying to pay for that. There are some websites out there that will try and charge for it. So that one can be found at studentaid.gov. And so it takes about a week to get to us. Once it gets to us, we can evaluate, kind of see where they're at, check a bunch of different things, make sure that they're eligible, and then we kind of go from there.
And so that is just one step as far as financial aid. So tell me about a little bit of what type of financial aid that students can get.
So the FAFSA application is going to qualify them for grants, loans, and work study. We have a separate application for scholarships, and we can talk about that in a minute. But grants, of course, are money that doesn't need to be repaid. Loans do. Work study is a work program that students can come in and kind of work as they go to school. So it keeps them engaged, keeps them on campus, doesn't let them work more than 20 hours a week, things like that. Basically, that's the gist of the FAFSA application. Scholarships, most of the time, based off of merit, based off of how well they're doing their GPAs. We have some that are just based off of meeting certain criteria. Are they in a certain program? That kind of thing. So we have different forms of aid available.
And in scholarships, we could sit down and we could talk for hours just on how many scholarships that there are available.
Right. Yeah, you need a different one on that, just on scholarships alone.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then we're talking about scholarships, and I think the two most well-known ones here in the state, obviously, are the Lottery Scholarship and the Opportunity New Mexico, which is a new one. Can you just tell us a little bit about what that is?
So, Opportunity is fairly new to us. This will be the first year that it's kind of ramped up. Lots of big promises coming out of Santa Fe on that one, and a few rules. We're still waiting on some stuff to come through, but basically the Opportunity is it'll pay for up to tuition and fees, minus any other state aid that kicks in. So really, if we have a brand new incoming student straight out of high school or within at least 16 months out of high school, they can get up to their tuition paid for. Those ones, they want them to take 12 credits a semester. For students that are more non-traditional, coming straight out, just out of the workforce, out of wherever, not out of high school, but those ones can be at least part-time, so they can take 6 credits a semester. Same thing, up to tuition and fees. There are some rules with GPA, there are some rules with how many credits that they have and things like that, but Lottery's been around for a while. I was actually a recipient of the Lottery Scholarship, and so I was in one of their commercials, believe it or not. So
we'll need to talk about that one in another podcast.
Okay, yeah, we'll save Lottery.
But that's awesome. There's a lot of opportunities for students to help them, overcome a lot of some of the barriers that you have, especially when it comes to finances for school. Right. So there's tons of opportunities out there.
Right.
So how could you qualify for the Lottery Scholarship? I know we talked a little bit about Opportunity.
So Lottery, if you're a New Mexico resident graduating from a New Mexico high school or getting a GED, New Mexico GED, you have 16-month period where you can come in, take full-time credits, 12 credits with us, 15 at a 4-year school, 12 with us. And basically it kicks in automatic after your first semester. Your first semester is your qualifying semester. You have to have at least a 2.5 GPA. and then 12 credits. And that's going to stay with you for 3 semesters, 3 paid semesters here with us. You can transfer over to a 4-year school and get an additional 4.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you were saying that the first semester is your qualifying one, and our fees here at DACC, as it is, are phenomenally
Minimal. Yeah.
very, very. And so I think one thing that we started this year was opening up an in-state tuition fee, right, to Texas residents?
Yeah, we have the 135-mile waiver. And so what that one does, anybody within 135 miles of NMSU DACC can come in for in-state tuition plus 10%. So that really cuts down on the cost. Even though we're affordable with out-of-state tuition, we were affordable, this is really going to make it much more accessible.
Especially for those students that just live, you know, right off of Sunland Park, near Chaparral in El Paso. Like, that's an amazing
On
deal
the
for
Anthony
them.
side of Texas, yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be very helpful. Chaparral, Chaparral's New Mexico, I guess, but it's going to open up quite a bit. We're hoping to get some of those students that automatically go to EPCC because of the in-state tuition. So we'll see.
Yeah, and some will live closer to DACC than they would for another campus.
Exactly.
So as we're talking about some of this financial aid, how far in advance do you think a student should start preparing before they start their semester at school? Like right now, would it be a little bit too late?
It's not too late, but it's not ideal. So really we want them to prepare about a year in advance. So the FAFSA application actually opened last October. Our Scholar Dollar application actually opened last November. And those are for the upcoming terms that, that starts now in August or soon in August.
Okay.
So really you want about a year in advance. A lot of the scholarships have different application deadlines. And so you just kind of want to have a heads up. When I was a student, I used to have a folder. And, I had it by month, and by certain months, okay, this is when the deadline is, this is when I need to apply, things like that.
Very organized.
Well, I tried.
So that's a good tip for, parents right now where their students are becoming seniors starting high school is for them to start out with those applications and making sure that they're keeping those grades up so they can get scholarships and that sort of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Involvement in certain extracurricular programs. We have a lot of outside entities that give scholarships to DACC. The Community Foundation is a great one. Albuquerque Community Foundation, New Mexico Community Foundation, in addition to our Scholar Dollar application. So there's plenty of opportunities. And then there's even some outside agencies like WIOA that'll contribute through Workforce Connections. Sometimes your employers will help pay for tuition and fees. So there's just all kinds of stuff out there.
Different opportunities. And we do have something on our website, right, that has a list of all the scholarships?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We sure do.
And that would be dacc.nmsu.edu, right?
/FA for financial aid, yeah.
Oh, perfect. So, is there anything else that you have as far as financial aid? Any advice that you would give to students, anybody that's watching, parents?
I would just say that it's really important once you get in school to make sure that you maintain your GPA. Make sure that you're passing your classes. Because there are certain requirements with all of the financial aid stuff, you can have everything paid for, but there are restrictions and our requirements, and so not everybody qualifies. You always want to have a backup plan, and you never want to pay for any kind of application, whether it's the FAFSA, whether it's a scholarship application, anything should always be free.
And, people should remember that the financial aid office, there's advisors, there's people that can sit there and that can help guide you through the complete entire process. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, we can help with the FAFSA application. We have workshops to do that because it's not an easy application. It takes about 20 minutes. Special circumstances, the advisors will sit with them and go through the entire process, see what their eligibility is, see what costs they have available, the payment plans, things like that. Yeah. And we have one at each campus. We have 2 advisors here at East Mesa. We have one at the Espina campus, and then one that splits time between Gadsden and Sunland Park.
And speaking of, right, as we were walking out the office, there was an advisor that was working with a student.
Right. Yep. Yeah. We had a student come in person today.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add that we didn't cover?
I would just say any questions, come contact us. I know oftentimes we get a bad rap for having to tell students no, and that's not always the case. There's other options. What we try to do is say no by saying yes. So offer, maybe we can't do this one, but maybe there's something else that we can do. But just come talk to us. Don't be afraid. It is a complicated process. I've been doing this job for almost 18 years, and I still every day learn something new.
Well, you guys do amazing work. You help out the students tremendously.
I have a great team.
Yes, you do. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this this edition of Campus Convos. We look forward to talking with you all next month as we have our next guest. So pay attention and check out our Facebook page for those updates and details. I believe we're going to be speaking with Colin King, who is going to be talking about our new Books for Less program.
Nice. That's a great program.
That will tremendously help. Any way that we can help students save costs, like we are here to do it. So
Absolutely.
so great. Well, we'll see you all next month, and you can go ahead and view this episode on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/DACC, I believe it is. Or Doña Ana CC, I believe that's what it is. Thank you so much.